Okay.
Done. We are recording. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. This is part of our Bumble product knowledge series. We've been rolling out a different one of these weekly and more often and under different platforms. So I'm joined by the West Coast on this one, which I was super excited about, not just because I love working with Kristen, but because we can actually have two different time zones. So it's 1 o'clock here. So people have already had time to have their coffee and settle in. And then on the West Coast, you're just getting going. So it's kind of
drinking coffee.
Yeah, it's a great collaboration where, oh, there you go. Perfect. Love it, Tracy. Which normally when we just do these on the East Coast early, only East Coast people come because of course it's 3 o'clock in the morning for you guys sometimes. Depending on when we start. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's 5 a.m. if we start them at 8. So this is just our, who we are. I'm the regional business consultant for the Northeast. Kristen is on the West Coast. And let's get into it. Today, we're just going to mainly focus on, let's make sure this thing works. We're just going to focus on the product knowledge section of, our products that have UV and heat protection. Now, this is where I plug my more elaborate product knowledge class that I'm happy to do, where I talk about everything in a lot of detail, and then all of the franchises and portfolios. But in this particular presentation, we're really just going to sort of give you a visual bird's eye view of the products that we have that do have documented heat protection, which is up to 450 degrees, and then UV protection from the sun. And we think we did a really creative way of presenting it. So hopefully that will ring true. So heat protection up to 450 degrees. These are some of our favorite tools down below. Of course, tools do dry hair. They can break bonds. And of course, as the hair becomes more compromised, clients tend to do less things in the salon, which we don't want them to do. And then of course, everyone loves the sun. So we're gonna show you which products give you 100% UV protection.
And I think it's important to call out that all of our products that have the 450 degree thermal protection go through rigorous testing. It's like 20 passes over the same section of hair. So it's super important to know that it is going to protect the hair.
Great. Yeah. And I always add that it's hair that's not on someone's head, but it is natural hair.
Yeah.
The visual always goes to oh my God, who signed up for that? Anyway, yeah. Let's move on. So this is our full collection. So our portfolio, I love it says in a nutshell. This is not a nutshell. It looks like a lot of products. So along the top, we have our hero products, our most notable franchises. And then below, you see that we've broken them into different categories, which is how we're going to go over the products today. But what's different about today and normal day is I would talk about every single product. And as you can see on the bottom, some of the products match the products on the top. So of course, in our hero families, there are products in different categories. And then there's some other products down below that are just one in themselves that are not part of the franchises. So watch the magic that I'm about to do, where I now show you everything that has heat protection or UV protection. Okay, so we've just done, obviously this is very small, especially if you're looking at this on your cell phone. So we're gonna go through them in a little more detail. So first, our treatments. And you'd think every single treatment might have heat protection, but it does not. So out of the treatment category, these are the only 3, okay? The ones that have the seal of 450 degrees, the ones that are definitely gonna protect you against UV. I will add, any product that you put on your hair before a hot tool of any kind is gonna give you some protection, but today we're just talking about the products that actually have the seal, it's on the label, it's up to 450 degrees, they have the certification, et cetera. As Kristen was saying earlier, they've been tested. So While You Sleep is one of our cult followed products. It is definitely, what I love is it's titled in a way where you can sort of tongue in cheek, it's fun. It's for that client that says they don't have any time. So when can you do it? While you sleep. So who doesn't have time when they're sleeping? Okay. And it's made with camellia flowers. It has the UV filters. It does have the heat protection. If it dries in your hair and then you want to style, it does have heat protection. What I love about this mask is it only has to stay in for 10 minutes. So if you are in the salon and you want to demonstrate it, it only has to stay in 10 minutes, but it's a great way to have fun with your client and talk to them about a product that they can do while they're sleeping, because this mask dries in the hair. It will not come off on your gorgeous linens at home. And the companion product here is the highly restorative daily fluid. So this is Petal Soft. We created this so that backstage, when we were doing, getting ready for any kind of a fashion show, models would have split ends. This is like an instant way to take down split ends. It gives them instant moisture. And again, because we're having this presentation today, it does have UV protection, does give you temporary repair, and it does have heat protection if they were to heat style with it in the hair. And then our newest, Kristen, do you want to take this one? This is our newest from the Blonde collection that just launched.
I love this. So this is the Illuminated Blonde Tone Enhancing Leave-In. So this is going to be a really light violet pigmented leave-in that's just going to help to tame frizz. It actually like acts as a conditioner too. It's going to reduce frizz, hydrate, and just enhance your tone with that slight amount of pigment. I actually spray this into my hands and then work it through the hair that way, just so I can feel like it's a little bit more evenly distributed. And this one does have the 450-degree thermal protection. It's amazing.
Love it. So then we move into our primers. And again, primers always give you protection if you are using a primer, but the only primer that we have that has the seal is the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil Primer. And this again is one of our top selling SKUs in the full collection. So it does give you the heat protection, takes down frizz, it's instant hydration. The smell is intoxicating. This is a product that we obviously do really well with during the summer because it does have like that summer look and appeal, but it does give your hair instant UV protection. So anybody that is like a beach lover like myself, it's just easy to do a couple spritzes and you're protected from the sun. And then of course you're protected against the heat. So anyone with compromised hair or just hair that needs moisture, they're going to be protected with this. They can use it for restyling as well. Second or third day, don't wash your hair every day. Use the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil primer to refresh your products in the hair already and restyle, and you'll get that heat protection. Structure and hold products. So again, this is kind of an interesting category. Let's see which ones are approved for heat protection. BB Texture, our curl mousse, thickening, full form mousse, and then the surf foam blow dry. BB Texture is, again, a very unique product. It's loved by clients and stylists alike. It does give you instant texture. It has a lot of grit to it. It has hydration, but also a lot of hold. So this can be used on shorter styles. It can be used for longer styles to give you lift at the root, etc. It does break down with water or with tonic the best. So if you are using it at the chair and you find that it gets a little too gritty, you can lighten up the product with the tonic spray, with the tonic primer.
And this one has UV protection, not heat protection, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Kristen. That is the one that exactly. So this one, that's one small bit of trivia about the texture. Yeah. Yes. And then BB Curl, this is for curly people that want to keep their waves intact. It gives your waves memory. It does have the UV protection and the heat protection. So anything that we create for, pre-blow dry, 9 times out of 10, we're going to go over them in a second, are going to be tested up to 450 degrees, obviously. Okay. What I love about this is we did reformulate it. It's a lot more hydrating than before. And it's just a beautiful formula for anybody that wants to maintain their curls. Take this one, Kristen. Full form mousse. Love it. One of our best sellers.
I love the full form soft mousse. One thing I love about this is that it does give you the soft hold, so your hair isn't crunchy. So this can be used at the root. You can use it roots to ends, however you want to do it. It's just going to give you a voluminous style that lasts. And some people prefer mousse to a spray. So this does have the 450-degree thermal protection, and it also smells amazing and is super moisturizing.
Love it. Surf foam spray blow dry. I know you want to talk about this because anyone with blonde locks loves this blow dry.
Yes. And actually, you know, I have heard from so many salon owners that this is amazing for updos. When we launched this years ago, it was right before wedding season and people were raving about it. So if you have that client that has just that really fine hair that doesn't stay, this will give you that roughed up, almost dirty texture. The one thing to know about this though, is that it is meant to be used on wet or damp hair. So if you do have somebody that comes in that you want to give that gritty texture to, maybe just spritz them down with some prep tonic first. They don't have to be completely wet, but get them a little bit damp. And then you can rough up their texture with this. It's part mousse, and so it's going to give you that hold, but then it's also part surf spray, so it's going to give you that grit. It's amazing, and it has heat and UV protection.
Love. So that takes us to texture and effects. So as you can see, we've got more blow dry creams here. So there are going to be a few more products here, but it isn't everything. So these are the ones that go away, but all of these are left. So this is probably our biggest category as far as heat protection. Obviously, a lot of these are designed for blow drying or for hot tools. So our all style blow dry, one of our most popular, it does have a fine invisible micro fine oil absorbing powder in the formula. That's a little pro tip that a lot of stylists don't remember. So you're almost getting like a little layer of dry shampoo right in with the blow dry. And there's a lot of things on Instagram right now that I've seen where there's just a lot of powders coming out for different, oh, we lost Avi.
You did.
Some different powders that are coming out that they'll put into a style just to create that texture, which is really, you know, what we've been doing with dry shampoo this entire time. So this formula has that in it, and your blow dry will last longer. Not only is it going to absorb a little bit of, if there's any oil at the scalp level, but it is going to give you that voluminous airiness days after the normal blow dry would go away, which I love. BB repair is just a temporary fix of the cuticle. So imagine some cracked paint on the side of a barn. This product is just literally going to fill in all the little spots in the paint, which is the cuticle on the hair, and just give you a temporary smooth cuticle. It creates static-free finish. It has the heat protection. Does this have UV? I think this one is heat. Does it have UV? I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't think so. I think it's just heat protection.
It was before we were doing UV, but it's just heat protection. But what's great here is you are going to get that temporary feeling of repaired cuticle. Again, I would recommend this more for someone who's just starting to get a little compromised, as opposed to a client where we're going to recommend the bond building, which is coming up. This is the third one in that little trilogy where they all kind of look like they have the same packaging. So this is BB Straight. So this does what it finds an S bond in the hair, and then it gives it softness. Okay, so it lets you soften out an S bond, hence creating a really beautiful straight finish. And it does have the heat protection. It's going to give you shine, and it'll also keep frizziness away.
And I feel like, doesn't this have anti-humectant in it too? I don't feel like the slide says that, but I feel like it does. So it helps for people that do straighten their hair, that so the humidity doesn't revert that as quickly.
Fantastic. I just learned that from you today then.
We used to have that on the slides, but I think we're kind of, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, there's a few things that have changed, but that's a good thing to note. This is the thickening great body blow dry. So again, this is one of our hero products in that franchise. It just gives you voluminous, like high volume. And what it does is an Emblica. Emblica is the ingredient in 3 products from thickening. We're just going to talk about the blow dry today because that's the one with the heat protection and the UV protection, but it does plump the cuticle. So it is going to make the hair behave differently. It is going to make the hair bigger. They don't have the plumping lips on this slide, which I love because that's like a great way to think about it. And I just love this formula. Again, it doesn't have to be used all the way to the root. You can just use it mid-lengths to ends for additional volume, or in the reverse, just closer to the root for more lift.
I think the one thing to remember about this too is a little goes a long way. So start small.
Oh, good point.
If you, it can be, it's moisturizing too. So if you use too much of it, it could actually get heavy. So just start small.
Honeycombs, that can only mean bond building repair styling cream. So this is the active ingredients here are the bees honey and then flower honey. Okay, what I love about this formula, this is the franchise that actually goes all the way to the cuticle or all the way to the cortex and then repairs bonds all the way to the outside. So it's strengthening the hair from the inside out. My favorite little pro tip that may or may not entice anyone that I love about this is it has mica in it. So mica is an ingredient, a little finely ground down, pearlized looking mineral that they use in highlighters for your skin. So it's in this formula. So if a client is already dry and compromised, they need to rebuild the bonds in their hair. With one blow dry in this formula, they're going to get a thin veil of mica right on the cuticle, which if you've used highlighter on your skin, it doesn't make you look shiny or greasy, but when the light hits it, it reflects back. So originally when we launched the stylers, we called them Glow, and that was what they based it on, was there's mica still in this formula, nothing has changed. So automatically that client walks out looking completely different because the hair is all of a sudden reflecting light back.
Love it. I use that every time I wash my hair.
Yeah. More honeycombs. So this is the other companion product in that franchise. You can use this to accelerate the dry of your hair naturally. Okay, the air is going to start. It's a tiny, like very low percent alcohol that's going to emulsify with the liquid, with water. So it's already getting diluted when it hits the hair. Okay, so it's not going to go to the cuticle. It's not going to cause any additional dryness, but it will cause the hair to dry faster. And obviously you can speed it up with a blow dryer, but it's going to cut your blow dry time in half. This does have UV filters, does have the heat protection.
And I will say with this one, I've noticed from feedback from people that have used it, the more hair you have, the more you're going to notice how much it cuts dry time down. So for somebody like me with fine hair, it might only cut mine down by like 30%. But somebody that has a really thick head of hair, they definitely can notice a difference.
Yeah. And I always tell them to start underneath because the top is where it's probably going to dry fast already while you're doing the bottom. So start from the bottom and go up. And most stylists do that already. Want to take defining cream?
So this is going to be a moisturizing cream for your wavy curls. So not necessarily for your ringlets or your spirals, but it's going to be for waves to ringlets, I guess. And it's just going to moisturize the hair. It has UV filters, so it's going to protect your hair from the sun. And it's just going to give you a really nice defined curl. And tame that frizz. So this is another one that I always remind people a little goes a long way. So start small and work your way up. Otherwise, you could overdo it, which is why we just recently came out with the light defining cream for the finer hair types.
Yeah, I always recommend this. Curly people get really dry when they're at the beach. If you're going to put suntan lotion on, you should be putting on your defining cream. Just rake it through, instant moisture, leave it there. and no frizzy, and it's protected against the sun. This is the anti-humidity gel oil. So this, again, this is one of our like very cult followed products. It is a gel and an oil. You can use a little bit goes a long way. Again, emulsify in the hands, rake through waves and curls. You will hear some of our stylists that have used this to blow dry it in. You can diffuse it in. And that's also a really beautiful effect because it does have the protection against UV and heat after the client leaves the chair. And it does elongate a curl. It's going to let you know. It's coarse, more like medium to coarse curl types as well. Want to take a don't blow it? We got two of them, thick and fine.
Yeah, so Don't Blow It Fine is another one of my favorite stylers. I use this a lot in the summertime. So this is just going to tame frizz and moisturize your hair a little bit without leaving a product feel in it. And this one just, it's for fine to medium hair types, and you're just gonna put it in your hair when it's damp. I love to pair this with surf spray or surf infusion, depending on how dry it is outside. And this has the UV filters, and it doesn't need heat filters because it's for not blow drying.
Right. And then this is the other one.
Yep. And then the Don't Blow It Thick is going to be for your medium to thick hair type. So definitely this one has more moisture in it and is definitely a little bit thicker than the Don't Blow It Fine. I thought for sure that this would be awesome for my hair, but it's not, definitely not for the medium or for the fine hair type. This one has also a slight amount of hold in it, whereas the Don't Blow It Fine does not have any hold. So this is a great one for your medium to thick hair types, for air drying. Also has the UV filters.
Love it. Water, that can only mean one thing, surf. So this is surf infusion. So you just talked about it. It's a great little, you can pair it with other products. It's going to give you that, that mineral, there's the mineral ingredient blend in the surf products. In this product, it's there, but it's also infused with a little bit of water. And then I believe it's a hibiscus. So it like gives it UV and moisture. So it's for that client that wants texture that might be a little compromised. They still want to use a surf spray. This is going to give them moisture and it's going to give them the texture. And this does have the UV, wherein the original, the one in the black packaging, the original spray, the surf spray, does not have any UV protection. So this is also a great companion product for someone that does love the other brand, the other product, and they can layer this over to get a little bit of moisture and UV. So I've heard that as well, like using them both.
Yes, I was gonna echo that. I often will use the regular surf spray at the root and then use surf infusion mids to ends because the surf infusion does have that oil in it. So sometimes you don't want to put oil that close to the root. You're just it's gonna weigh the hair down. One other call out with this is that it is the biphase formula. So make sure that you shake it before you use it and mix the formula up.
Yeah, it needs to look like sea foam. And then the surf leave-in, go ahead and take that. I love it.
I love this product too. So this is, it actually is, it does not have the sea salt blend, but it is going to give you the same effects. So this is going to be, it's a UV protective gel cream that conditions, detangles, and fights frizz, but it also gives you that like sea swept wave without the grit that we're used to from the other surf products. So love this one. I pair this with Don't Blow It Fine and surf sometimes too, because I'm a product junkie and I can't just use one product. But yeah, I love this product. And this is actually another one that I've had salons say works amazing as a blow dry cream for their finer haired clients, finer to medium hair clients. So that's like another way that you can use it. And this one does have the UV filters, but it does not have heat protection. So if you do use it as a blow dry, make sure you use that something else with heat protection.
And then we have the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil itself, the star of the entire franchise. So again, this is very concentrated, comes in a smaller bottle. It's meant to be dispensed in your hand, couple of pumps, and then just squeeze into dry areas in the hair. You can spot use it. One of my yoga instructors who has very dark, wavy, thick, coarse black hair, she has one of these in every single one of her bags because it is instant moisture. It's for that client that knows they need more moisture. It is straight oil, so use it sparingly. Again, if your hair is thirsty for it, then I highly recommend it. But everyone knows that client or that friend or someone that's definitely an oil person. They put oil on their skin. They like to put oil on their hair. It definitely has a very strong following. Another tip and trick with this product is you can put a couple of pumps into any conditioner that you have. It doesn't have to be from us. Hopefully it is. But there have been stylists and clients that have told me that they put a couple of pumps into the existing Hairdresser's Invisible Oil conditioner. And again, that was before we launched our most recent franchise within Hairdresser's Invisible Oil, the Ultra Rich, which does give them that extra moisture. This is we used to call this a shine spray. I still like to call it the shine spray. This is instant moisture. It is in the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil family because of the way that it's delivered in the aerosol version. It's much lighter. It is going to give you the same benefits as the oil. It does have UV filters in it. Again, it does not have the heat protection factor per se, but it does have UV protection. But it's great for restyling. It's great for late day, midday, dry hair clients. Again, to Kristen's point earlier, probably mid-lengths to ends is a better use, where an oil close to the scalp is going to deflate your style.
And one thing to remember about this one too is that it's a dry oil, so you're not going to get that that you get from regular oil. I've gotten feedback from salons before and they're like, oh, it doesn't give me shine. It's not supposed to. It's going to soften the hair and moisturize it, but it's not going to give you that sheen that you're used to from most oils. So yeah, just be aware of that.
Love it. I loved your kitty just walking in front of the camera.
Yeah, stepping on everything. I'm like, okay.
So this is the thermal protection mist. This is a magic spray. I have been highly distributing a TikTok that I had that was basically spraying half of a piece of bread and then putting it in the toaster. And then when you take it out of the toaster, half of it is brown, the other one is not. So that's a full illustration of how well this works. It's actually from the bond building franchise. So it is going to shield the hair from heat. It is going to give you UV protection as well. But what I love about this the most is it's an amazing product to be used on dry hair. So you finish the blow dry. You're going to go in with a wand. You're going to go in with a flat iron. This client might already be using the bond building products to rebuild the bonds in the hair. So what this does is it's going to give that hair not only just a shield, just like the name says, against this hot tool that you're putting onto it, but the finish is going to be a smooth cuticle with moisture, and it's going to resist humidity, and it's not going to be, you're not going to have any static. So it's probably like my favorite thing to recommend for anyone that's using a hot tool on dry hair, because the last thing you want to do is put any kind of a temperature. Think if your hair had nerves, would you put that on your skin without putting like a piece of cloth between it? It's the same thing with your hair. So put something there, and this is my favorite product for that. And then finish and refresh. Not all of them, but some of them. Not as many as you probably thought. Okay. These are the only products here. We do have a texture spray that we launched last year in the Hairdresser's Invisible. Gosh, now it's probably been a year and a half because last year was a blur. But this is a product that we came out with because we just talked about the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil. What I was loving to call shine spray. It's not a shine spray, but that particular spray with our dry spun texture, which is still one of our top selling SKUs in the entire collection. We blended that with the ingredients of the shine spray. So the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil soft texture finishing spray is moisture with texture. And then of course you get UV filters in this product as well. And it smells amazing. The same smell from the full franchise. And then dry shampoos. Super, super easy, fun. Everybody needs them. Don't wash your hair every single day, please. These have UV filters. They don't have the heat protection because you're not going to be blow drying per se after you've used a dry shampoo. However, I would go in with like the primer and then maybe with the dry shampoo if you're restyling next day. And then this one, okay, this one does have UV filters and it does have the additional moisture. So nourishing, again, I believe we added hibiscus to this. So it is going to give you that additional moisture. This is for the client that already has dry hair, who if they use just a regular dry shampoo, they might say that it's going to make their hair drier or dry it out, which it will, because it is going to absorb any kind of moisture or oils. But this is going to give them a little bit of added moisture as well, and the dry shampoo product, which is amazing. And ours are, I'll just go back, the products are, the packaging is pink because, well, this one is more pink than the other one, but they're made with pink French milled clay. Okay, so the clay has more of a natural, it's healthier for your scalp. It's not talc, it's not powders that would be in lesser expensive products that are out there, or cornstarch. Want to talk about reactivators? This is the only one in Refresh. It is for curls. So super easy, just one curl.
Yeah, so the BB Curl Reactivator, this can be used as your curl primer, or it can also be used to reactivate your curls on day 2, 3, 4, however long it is before you wash your hair. It's going to help to defrizz, it's going to add moisture, and it's really just going to give that bounce back to curls that you may have slept on or that got kind of drab throughout the day. And this one has your UV filters to help protect your hair.
Love it. That, my friends, is the end of our presentation. I just wanted to go back and show you. Let me go in here one more time. Still sharing, right? You can still see it.
Yep.
So there's all of the products. And there's what we just talked about. So you have a few things in the top sections and the big franchises, and then down below, some of them repeat.
You know, David, I just realized, excuse me, that the Go Big treatment wasn't in there. And Go Big treatment does have 450-degree thermal protection as well. So we missed that one.
Okay.
But that one is another one that is amazing and has the Emblica technology in it that is going to plump the hair, condition it. It's basically, I tell salons that it's kind of like your thickening primer because it acts as a leave-in conditioner while plumping the hair shaft and giving it 450-degree thermal protection.
Fantastic. So any questions for anyone out there?
Tracy?
Guys, this was so helpful. I'm not even kidding. I learned so much.
Cool.
And you know
Awesome.
all the fun facts, you two. So great job. I loved all of the slides and like the transitions and the honeycomb. It was cool.
I'm going to go ahead and stop recording for.
Yes.
Hang on one second.